Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Stealth Trump just permanently made America great again while media was looking the other way. Trump is one smart man and he's taking full advantage of the fact that the media and his other detractors assume he's an idiot. While they continue to focus on Russia, fuel division by inciting Antifa violence and try to say he isn't helping hurricane victims, which is totally ridiculous, he is quietly and with efficient laser focus, changing the country to ensure his promise to make America great again. He is doing this by redesigning the federal courts. For instance, the Ninth Circuit Court has continually stamped down Trump's travel ban, his plan to keep our country safe from terrorists. Trump is working to change that, though. He just named more judges to sit on the federal appeals courts, where, for example, there are now 4 vacancies on the Ninth Circuit. He has named Ryan Bounce to that court, a federal prosecutor with great credentials, who served in the Bush administration. He also just named Gregory Katzis to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. Mr. Katzis currently serves as Deputy White House Counsel. In Trump's White House, of course. He, too, has a stellar reputation. I can't emphasize enough how important what Trump is doing in U.S. courts while no one is paying attention is. Our courts have more power over our lives than most people realize on a day-to-day basis. They shape the laws under which we live every single day. As an attorney, I am keenly aware of how important our judges' personal political views are on cases, no matter how objective they may try to be. If you are happy about Trump's performance as a president, please get this shared and comment. Way to go, Trump. The Daily Caller. Scam alert: a major credit company has just been hacked and millions of people might get scammed. Credit reporting service Equifax has been under intense scrutiny in the aftermath of its revelation that their security systems had been breached. The cyber attack occurred on July 29, but it wasn't announced until Thursday. The attack compromised more than 143 million customers and their private information. In an era where many corporations have been victims of hacking, Equifax is under fire not for allowing the breach but how the company has handled it. 3 company executives including CFO John Gamble sold stocks in the company 3 days after the breach happened. The executives, who claim to have not received information of the breach at the time they sold the stock, made a combined total of $1.8 million. What's worse is that it took over a month for them to go public with the information, preventing millions of people from securing their identity from theft and fraud. Equifax said in its formal statement that hackers accessed social security numbers, names, birth dates, addresses, and in addition to the credit billing information of its customers. If it turns out that the executives who sold their stock had knowledge of the breach, they could be charged with felonies for engaging in illegal stock practices. Equifax shares tumbled 13% in the hours after their announcement, meaning the executives Gamble, Joseph Lachlan and Rodolfo Polder avoided losses in the transaction. Equifax is doing its best to remedy the situation, but even that effort has fell short. The company created a website to allow its customers to find out if they were affected by the hack, but it doesn't offer much assistance. Not only does the new page require that you give Equifax more of your personal information, but it shows a basic thank you screen at the end, which means it's simply a customer service inquiry form. CEO of Equifax Rick Smith released a video where he formally read a statement from a teleprompter which seemed to rub some people the wrong way. Steve Bannon just broke down and leaked how Mitch McConnell will backstab Trump. The former chief White House strategist Steve Bannon told CBS Charlie Rose on 60 Minutes that the Republican establishment is trying to kill off Trump's election victory. He said that during one of their first meetings that McConnell told Trump that he needed to stop talking about draining the swamp. Bannon, the Republican establishment is trying to nullify the 2016 election. That's a brutal fact we have to face. Rose, the Republican establishment? Bannon, the Republican establishment. Rose, wants to nullify the 2016 election? Bannon, trying to nullify the 2016 election. Absolutely. Rose, who? Bannon, I think Mitch McConnell, and to a degree, Paul Ryan. They do not want Donald Trump's populist, economic nationalist agenda to be implemented. It's very obvious. It's obvious as night follows day. Rose, give me a story that illustrates that. Bannon, oh, Mitch McConnell, when we first met him, he said, I think in one of the first meetings in Trump Tower with the president, as we're wrapping up, he basically says, I don't want to hear any more of this drain the swamp talk. He's flat out. He goes, a guy up on Capitol Hill can't buy a Coke unless it's got to be reported. He says, I can't hire any smart people, because everybody's all over him for reporting requirements and the pay, etc., and the scrutiny. You got to back off that. The drain the swamp thing was as Mitch McConnell was day one did not wanna go there. Wanted us to back off. Rose, you are attacking on many fronts people who you need to help you to get things done. Bannon, they're not gonna help you unless they're put on notice. They're gonna be held accountable if they do not support the President of the United States. Right now there's no accountability. They do not support the President's program. It's an open secret on Capitol Hill. Everybody in this city knows it. Rose, and so therefore, now that you're out of the White House, you're going to war with them? Bannon, absolutely. We need to get this out there. If Steve Bannon is right, then the entire Republican establishment is trying to kill off Trump's movement. Share this with 3 Trump supporters you know so that we can get this out there before their plan comes to completion. A new study was released and what's in it could bring down CNN. Shortly after Donald Trump got the Republican nomination, CNN launched a 24/7 attack against the candidate. Now we know why they couldn't block him from the White House. No one actually cares what they have to say. A new study from the American Economic Review shows that CNN has a mostly negligible effect on American voting habits, according to Vox. Meanwhile, the Fox News effect translates into a 0.46 percentage point boost to the GOP vote share in the 2000 presidential race, a 3.59 point boost in 2004, and a 6.34 point boost in 2008, they add. That was enough to swing the 2004 election. And it's only getting worse as CNN continues to lose its viewers. So while CNN sinks in the ratings, they can't even take a moral victory against their adversary in the White House. By adopting a critical, and often fake, stance against the president, the network hoped to gain influence among the electorate. The only problem is, when it comes to changing minds, CNN simply doesn't have what it takes. Now, rumors are circulating that CNN boss Jeff Zucker may soon be out of a job as a result of the network's poor performance. So the president needn't worry about the insignificant pundits at CNN. He has all the power. They have none. Share and comment CNN is fake news if you think CNN should give up their anti-Trump agenda. Angela Merkel about to walk on stage, when she came under fire from something fat and red. On Tuesday, German Chancellor Angela Merkel was pelted with tomatoes at an election rally in Heidelberg over her awful, open-door refugee policy. It seems that the Germans aren't very excited with the fact that she has been steadily killing the country. According to the Daily Mail, police are saying that tomatoes were thrown multiple times during Chancellor Merkel's speech. One specifically hit her on her left hip. Even one of her aides was hit by the flying fruits. She was also hit with the words liar and hypocrite. My. The German people are really upset with her. The noisy demonstration is more evidence that European globalism led by Merkel is under siege. Something similar happened in Saxony, where she was booed and shouted down by citizens protesting her open-door policy. Share this if you are tired of Angela Merkel wrecking Europe. She is tearing apart Europe and it needs to stop now. Thanks for watching. Sore loser Clinton blames these 4 people for her loss in the 2016 election. Hillary Clinton's latest book, What Happened, comes out next week, and the former candidate is blaming everyone around her for her 2016 loss. She is not even shy about playing the blame game. You can blame the data, blame the message, blame anything you want, Clinton says. Those were my decisions, she adds, but they weren't her fault. Here are a few people she blames in her new book. Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer is an odd person for Clinton to attack, but Clinton apparently took objection to Lauer questioning the candidate on her illegal email setup. Lauer had turned what should have been a serious discussion into a pointless ambush, Clinton wrote of the interview. Apparently, Clinton would rather the press not bring up the fact that she was under FBI investigation. She may have been the most media-supported candidate in modern history, but they still didn't do enough. She wanted them to ignore her scandals altogether. Speaking of the FBI, James Comey. Clinton didn't like the fact that Comey had the audacity to reopen the FBI investigation once he discovered new evidence the campaign refused to turn over to authorities. My first instinct was that my campaign should hit back and explain that James Comey had badly overstepped his bounds, Clinton says. Looking back, that was a mistake. Maybe she shouldn't have broken the law. Bernie Sanders. Clinton believes Bernie Sanders put her in a straitjacket because her allies told her not to attack him or his supporters. In an excerpt from her book posted to Twitter, Clinton claims Sanders' supporters weren't willing to listen to her, even though he was pursuing a pipe dream. This stopped her from being seen as a true progressive and was one of the reasons she lost, she argues. Sexists. This last quote from her book might be the most absurd. Despite the massive amounts of blame she assigns to everyone around her, she also manages to make her failings about her sex. What makes me such a lightning rod for fury? I'm really asking. I'm at a loss, she writes. I think it's partly because I'm a woman. No, Hillary, it's not because you're a woman. But since you're really asking, I suppose you deserve an answer. You're a lightning rod for criticism because you're unlikable, lawless and elitist. You look down on everybody yet blame them all for your own shortcomings. You think the world owes you everything. Thankfully, the voters gave you nothing. Share if you think Hillary Clinton needs to get over it and accept that she's the reason she lost. Sources: Daily Mail, New York Times, CNN. She's cooked. Debbie Wasserman. Schultz will be spending time in jail after what prosecutors just did. LW has continued to follow the investigation into Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the IT scandal. Sadly, the MSM has not, which proves exactly what they are all about. This is shady as heck, y'all. Something you might see in a movie. Recent actions by prosecutors in the criminal case against Wasserman Schultz IT guy suggest that they may bring other charges in the cybersecurity and theft investigation. In fact, the Daily Caller reports that prosecutors are eyeing Wasserman Schultz herself in the laptop probe. She frantically tried to keep police from looking at her laptop as part of their investigation. She actually threatened Capitol Police if they didn't return it to her. She first claimed the laptop was hers, later claimed that it was Imran Awan's and she'd never seen it, then it was revealed that the laptop had username repdws. Here's the movie part: Imran left this laptop in a phone booth. I mean, who uses phone booths anymore? That's right, investigators were rightfully suspicious, especially because, together with the laptop were copies of his ID, a notebook that said attorney-client privilege and letters to the U.S. attorney. Seen any of this on the MSM, y'all? I know I haven't. More and more shadiness, indeed. Prosecutors just gave copies of the laptop's hard drive to Imran's attorney in discovery. Imran has thus far only been charged with bank fraud, but their recent actions suggest they may be about to bring charges in their cybersecurity and theft investigation. Imran had access to House Democrats' emails and files during the time he was employed there, before he was banned and arrested. In addition to cybersecurity breaches in our Congress, prosecutors are investigating a possible theft of equipment and ghost employees. Wow. Just. Wow.